What's up, everybody? So in this episode, what we're gonna do, we're gonna install some the fog lights that the EM1s usually have. Those are the housings over there. I got the fog lights sent up here in a box. I did already take the bumper off. I wasn't gonna make a video, but I figured, you know what? I'm gonna start this new channel off with this video working on a Honda. It's a 99 Civic hatchback. It's in good condition. It'll be for sale soon. I went ahead and put that new strut bar and this little short ram intake. Hopefully, stuff like that catches people's eyes to buy this thing off of me quick, because I'm just flipping this. So to take the bumper off, it has these plastic clips like those right there. It'll have them along the top of the bumper that will be mounted right here, and then there's two bolts, two screws on the sides that would bolt the bumper up to here. So you would grab your screwdriver and you would undo it from up in here. See, there's this slot right here, so you can fit your screwdriver. That's on both ends too. So once you take those two off, there's going to be some screws underneath the bumper. I mean, they're very visible. Once those come off, the bumper literally comes right off easily. So once you got that down, you want to start running your harness for your fog lights. I got mine kind of running right there right now. The second part of the harness right here, this is for the inside of the car. We'll get into that later. So that's for one fog light, this is for the other fog light. And the other part of this harness, I have it running up through this hole right here. That's underneath the windshield wiper fluid reservoir. There's a hole right there, and this is the harness right here. It comes with this plug, and then there's a ground that it has that we're going to connect it to something nearby. So that really you can go ahead and just connect this to any bolt that's in this area for ground. I think where I'm going to put that one, then I'm going to bring it back out and put it here. Or I might just put it right there. We'll see. But so for spacing out, but we're gonna put this right here. Believe it or not, Honda, since I mean, a lot of car manufacturers, they'll already have wiring harnesses existing, and those certain cars won't have certain features, but they still have to make harnesses all the same for them to save money. Because if they make harnesses just special for this car that wouldn't have any fog lights, and that's going to cost them extra money. So behind the stock reservoir on this harness right here, you see that brown plug? This belongs to the car, believe it or not. So that's where we're going to hook up this plug that comes with our harness for the fog lights. So I'm gonna go ahead, connect that in right there. I'm gonna attach my ground to something real quick, and then we'll be right back for when we're ready to make the holes on the bumper for the fog lights. And then after that, we'll jump inside of the car, and I'll show you where to hook up that harness right there. Alright, so right now we're at my parents' house, and I went ahead and did my outlines on both sides. Right now they're both kind of different. So what I did to do my outlines is I grabbed the housing from the opposite side to help me do the tracing of the outline for a certain side. So you want to grab the opposite side, little housing, to help you do that perfect round piece that you need to do. I want to try and keep this piece right here if I can. Most of these kits that you'll probably end up getting, they'll require for this piece to come out. So we'll see. I'm gonna try and save this first. If I can't, then screw it, I'll just cut it off, because as you can tell, this piece right here might be in the way. We'll see. I might be able to just tuck it underneath here and do what I gotta do behind it. So let me start making my cuts real quick. I'm gonna use a die grinder, also known as a peanut grinder. So I'm gonna use that real quick to make my cuts, and we'll be right back. But before I do make my cuts, make sure you do not cut these off. Do not cut these off. You will need them. Okay, so cut it in between them. All right, so I got my holes cut out. I did some test fits. These housings were not going to fit properly with the little fins that I wanted to leave in place, so that wasn't going to work out. So because I did test fit one side, I found out that it's actually easier if you put the brackets together on the lights before putting it all in there piece by piece. So yeah, I recommend put the brackets on the light itself, and then you're gonna mount them just like that. You're put a screw, 4 screws, one here, one up, one here, one here, and one at the bottom of the bumper right here. So you want to put 4 screws right there. So let me do both sides, and then we'll flip it over and we'll do the housings, which is super easy. One thing for sure though, you want to use the tap-in screws for the plastic to mount the brackets to the bumper. That's what you do. That's what you want to do. And then you're given these screws right here. These are the screws you're going to use, of course, to mount your brackets to the light itself. So, alright, so remember these ones you want to use to mount the entire assembly to the bumper. And then it's going to give you these smaller screws right here, the smaller machine screws. This is what's going to hold the housings to on the other side of the bumper to the light right there. So we'll be right back to do that little step. Okay, just real quick, I want to show you guys how they look like on the inside with the brackets mounted, you know, with the big long brackets on the inside of the bumper, so you guys can see, and then the smaller ones towards the outside of the bumper. So that's how they go, and you know, and the light looks really good. So let's flip it over now. Okay, so yeah, I know the hole doesn't look all that pretty. If I had a Dremel, the job would have been way easier and way cleaner, but it's okay because these housings cover up that ugliness. So now you just pretty much the light has that hook right there, and the housing has a little hook of itself. Make sure it goes in that hole. There we go. I feel that it caught itself. And now we put the smaller set screws, these right here, and pretty much tighten it down. And then we do the same to the other side. This side was a little worse, but whatever. I kind of caught it up here, but the housing covers it up, which I like that. Well, I guess it shows a little bit, but not too much. Well, alright, let me just tighten these up real quick, and then we'll head back to my garage at home. Yeah, I'm really liking how these turned out. They cover up the ugly cuts perfectly. Alright, well, let me load her back in my car and head back over and mount this bumper, and then we'll get started on the the wiring, the part 2 of the higher harness inside the car underneath the dash. And then once we do that wiring, I'll put this bumper back on and we'll check it out. So now that we have that part done with the bumper, now here we're on to the second part of the harness. So you got your relay here, you got a ground clip, you got two of the same brown clips, and then you got this clip right here. So this clip is actually going to go on the same wire that we put that we connected the first harness to, that runs behind the reservoir, the one that already exists in the car. So that same wire runs inside underneath the dash, and that's where we're gonna hook this up, and I'll show you guys where that is. This green clip right here goes to your switch that comes with the kit, depending on the kit that you get. And I don't remember where I bought my kit, but 70% of the time you guys are gonna probably end up buying the same kit I have. And then it's gonna go, that switch can go either here, because I got nothing there, because this car doesn't have power locks or wind or power sunroof or anything. And then these two clips are gonna go into the fuse box that are located down there. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys what to look for. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do right now is we're gonna take this panel off. Right here, this whole panel off. There's some screws. There's one here, one in here, and a third one over here. And once you take those 3 screws off, the panel's just held in by some plastic clips, so just pull it down gently and try not to break them. But if it's your own car, then do what you want. So let me get that off real quick and I'll be right back. Alright, so we got the panel off. That's out of the way. So now we're gonna get into the connecting the wiring harness real quick. Alright, so we'll go ahead and connect the harness to that one wire that I was telling you about, that already exists in the car, and it's this blue wire right here that's on your harness. That's the clip right there that you want to find. It's located behind the fuse box, behind it, right above it, behind this fuse blocks. Yeah, the fuse block, and it has mine had blue tape wrapped around it, which held it to the wiring that's behind this fuse block. So just look for that blue wire, and the wire, it's a blue and red wire. It looks blue and purple to me, but I think, yeah, it's blue and red. So that's the one that exists in the car. So go ahead, connect that part to our harness real quick, if I can do it with one hand. Yep, there we go. So now we got left is these 2 red wires and this ground wire. So where you want to hook up these 2 red wire ones, you're gonna want to put them in your fuse block right here. Put them right here. So let's see if I can do it with one hand. Once again, one right there, and make sure you push them in kind of hard, because they'll want to kind of pop out, since they're aftermarket plugs. They kind of don't want to fit with the stock wire. Oh, see what I was talking about? It just wants to pop out. See, the other one just popped out very easy. Well, let me Let me somehow get these secured with both hands. We'll be right back. Alright, so I got the part 2 harness connected all in. It's connected to the fuse box, those 2 leads that I was showing you. And that one wire I showed you behind. Fuse box right there. And connected my ground right there. Connected to that 10 mil bolt. That's this little panel right here, the steel panel. That's where I did that. So I'm just gonna zip tie this stuff to the relay. I'm just gonna zip tie it to these wires and kind of tuck it up here. And then all that's left to do is to connect that wire, the green one, to our switch that's included with the kit. And luckily for me, mine has nothing in there, so I think I'm going to connect it to this far one right here. It pops out very easily. Just pretty much pull on that, and there you go. And we'll put the new one in. So it doesn't go like that. It doesn't go like this. It didn't go like that. So, to where the light kind of flashes down. So we'll just connect this in there, push it in. There we go. Now it's all the way in completely. And let's see, connect it real quick. There we go. Now it's connected. Now it's all in there. So let me zip tie those wires real quick, and I'll pull my panel back up, and then we'll test it. And that's pretty much it. So we're back in the garage. I got the car on accessories, and I got the lights on because you got to turn them on for the fog lights to work. So right now they're on. Let's check them out. And they're working. I mean, it's broad. It's still light out, so we're not gonna see anything. So they're working really well. Where I had the ground at, I don't know if you guys remember, but I had the ground, the one for the first harness that goes along the bumper to connect to the lights. Well, remember I hooked it up to a bolt right here. Well, it turns out that wasn't a good ground, so I moved it right there. That's the little holder for the brake fluid reservoir. So I put it on that bolt right there, and I like it. I like the little setup that it has, because look, there's no extra wiring, so it's a clean plug and play setup. This kit that I bought hooks up straight to the factory wires, straight up. You don't have to cut and splice anything. We didn't have to disconnect the kit, the battery, because it's just nothing but plugging away, and that's pretty much it. So I mean, the hard part of this install will probably just be cutting out the holes on the bumper, you know, being afraid about cutting them too big, which were good. They turned out well. So but that's it. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you guys didn't, I don't blame you. Hopefully I was being kind of descriptive. I hope. So stay tuned to more videos. I'll probably be doing more videos on this Civic before I sell it. Alright, everybody. Peace.